Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to what is the concept of Bhakti, Hindu Academy J. Lakhani. So the concept, what is the concept of Bhakti? I guess from my understanding, very little understanding of it, is the fact of an easy way to kind of feel relief in a sense, as in a way to reduce your burden, I think. Because from my understanding, Bhakti is pure devotion to God. And if you just say, well, you leave things up to God. So you just continue your life. If something bad happens, well, let God take care of it. I understand it happens, and let me continue on living life. If I can do something about it, I'll do it. If I can't, I can't. I'll leave it all to God. I'll do what I can. And to devote everything to God. As in, like, if you go out to a picnic or whatever it may be. Now, that's probably a bit of a somewhat Western understanding of it, with a little bit of my understanding of Bhakti. But again, I'm not exactly sure the whole concept of Bhakti, but it's more along the lines of just devoting yourself to God. Now, I don't know what exactly that means, whether if you can go partying and devote yourself to God, or whether that just means being reserved and doing only what you need to. I don't know how far it stretches, but let's go ahead and give this video a shot.
You see, sometimes because I come from the Vivekananda tradition, I can kind of present a more intellectual vision of Hinduism, more focused on experiential religion, means doing meditation, more focused on the intellectual aspect, means use your intellect to decide what is right, wrong, how to realize God, etc. And in the process, sometimes I compromise Hinduism, because Hinduism is not just pure gnana and yoga. There's a major kind of part of Hinduism which is to do with bhakti, the idea of devotion. You see, the reason why I don't do it is because unfortunately I'm not blessed. So I can't relate to some Vishnu or Shiva. So I'm stuck with humanity. So bhakti becomes a difficult thing for me to portray, but at the same time, let me show you. However grand, maybe the philosophical presentation I make, in my heart of heart, I have tremendous devotion for Vivekananda's guru, his master, Ramakrishna. In fact, I tell you honestly, I don't normally talk like this. I'm strongly drawn by this character, and I strongly feel that everything I do, anything good I do, is in a way inspired by this personality. See, devotion. So underpinning all this kind of intellectual gymnastics I do, all this, waving my arms about and lecturing and everything, underpinning is tremendous love, tremendous oneness, tremendous, if you like, linkage with this very modern, great personality of Hinduism, Ramakrishna. Since my very young days, I was in search of spirituality. And the only personality that I was very drawn to Ramana Maharshi, to Vivekananda, but the personality that stole my heart and blew it away, blew all my fuses, was Ramakrishna. So he's a weird chap, singing the glories of Mother Goddess and all that. So weird chap. And yet he drew he stole my heart, if I can say the word. So bhakti is not a minor thing. In fact, the thing that drives the intellect is bhakti, devotion. When devotion becomes articulated, nice language, it turns into intellect. So when devotion, bhakti, becomes articulated, becomes kind of polarized, then it becomes gnana. So bhakti is not a minor thing. It's the driving force of gnana. And sometimes they don't emphasize that enough. The love we have to the idea of spirit, the love we have towards certain personalities, becomes the driving force that then produces the intellect that we possess, that allows us to make better sense of the world that we live in. So we can never underestimate the power of devotion, bhakti. We all have some personality in our background, maybe an ancient personality, or maybe a modern personality who drives us, who's running our show. But the way we present becomes articulate as intellect, gnana. But bhakti is the source of our motivation. That's what motivates us. Bhakti, devotion. You can never underestimate or underplay it.
Free e-learning course.
Okay, so listening to that, it's very strange. I didn't quite understand him too much. Although I will say there's an updated version of this, and we will add this to this video. But it seems like the updated version of Bhakti is somewhat related to intellect, which I thought would be jnana. which I hope we can dive into either next. Yeah, actually it would be next because Raja would be the last one. Anyways, but yeah, I don't quite grasp what he's saying here, so I'm gonna pause the video real quick and pull up the other one. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the second one. This is the more up to date. Hopefully it's not the same one. I haven't watched it and I react to things, so I don't typically watch the things I react to. What is the concept of Bhakti? So I don't typically do things that are less than 30 days old, usually 30 days or older, or a year preferably. But I didn't quite understand what he meant in the first part. It was very short, too short to understand, but anyways, let's give this one a shot.
Different courses for different horses. Suppose you are automatically emotive by nature and you already have devotion flowing in your system. Some people are very fortunate. They have natural devotion for a particular deity from birth or from their family background or from the previous life. If that is the case, in your case, your path is bhakti. Forget about all the intellectual gymnastics. Who cares for it? You already are in full flow of becoming spiritual through devotion. So if your nature already is taking you in that particular pathway, you are on the right track, my friend. Don't switch. Don't get caught up by those intellectual gymnasts. They leave it to Mr. Lakhani. You just carry on with the path of bhakti, devotion for a deity that you love. Wish you well. You're in an easy way. You've got an easy way. So carry on. But suppose you got a bit of kind of intellect kicking you. So no, but how can this be true? How can God be like this, etc. So the intellect is kind of bothering you. Then you must incorporate a bit of kind of gnana marg and a bit of bhakti marg. Say, yeah, I like bhakti, but then some of the difficult questions I need to jump on gnana marg and say, sort me out. So you can mix and match. We are so lucky. We are allowed to do all this like a sweet shop. You go in the sweet shop and children say, okay, you get a bucket, pick and mix. Little bit of green color, pink color, mix it all in. Yahoo! They'll fit. In the same way, in our tradition, we are so fortunate. We allow pick and mix. And the best pick and mix I've seen in my life here in London is the Swaminarayan movement. I love them. Because they say, path of bhakti for Lord Swaminarayan. Good. But they say, okay, suppose you are being a devout, and yet you don't do any public service. Your bhakti is not recognized. Swaminarayan put a cross, say, no good. You did bhakti, oh, devotion, I love, but what have you doing service to your community? No good then. So it makes bhakti and karma, not bhakti and dhamma. Bhakti and karma say, link it together, then you make faster progress. So it's a nice way of combining these different pathways. And it's not say one is better. Suppose you are kind of sharp, cookie, and you just prefer Gnan Marg, you don't need to bother with bhakti, you don't need to bother with karma. But if you must be like Adi Shankara, then you can do that. So depending on the individual, we take on either one path that suits our own temperament, or it's a combination of pathways to make spiritual progress. Fully allowed, my friend. In fact, this is the magnanimous nature of our tradition. He says, my friend, why don't you focus on bhakti, gnan, karma, and Rajyog? Create your own pathway. So, yeah. Why do you think the spirituality can only be experienced through these particular 4 pathways the Hindus have dictated?
Forge your own path.
Create your own path. As many individuals, that many pathways for making spiritual progress. This is the teaching of my master, Sri Ramakrishna.
You see how this would differ so greatly from the Abrahamic religions.
Very prescriptive.
There is only one pathway,
and
that is the only way.
This is it. It's all written. It's written in my book. You can't even argue about it. You can't interpret it. I think if you do that, you are a horrible man. It's sad.
So yeah. So the concept of bhakti, at least as far as I'm understanding, is just devotion. But the thing is, I guess the question is, what devotion to what? Generally speaking, they do say God, but my interpretation of it is to yourself. Now, I don't mean being selfish, of course, but, and then if you look at Advaita Vedanta being you are God, there, I mean, then you must devote yourself to yourself. I like that phrase. But yes, of course, don't be selfish, but of course, take care of yourself. Do good things in life. But most important, take care of yourself, take care of the people you love, and then if you have any extra love, as they say, then take care of other people if you can. But I do believe most people do a little bit of everything. And I have a feeling the three major things that most people do are going to be Raja. Nope, sorry, that's the least. Karma, Bhakti, and Jnana. Knowledge, devotion, and action. Everyone does action, you know, just by going out every day, you're doing something. Thinking as well, apparently. And that's the thing that really was weird to me, that thinking is part of karma. I would have figured that jnana would be thoughts, because that's knowledge in some sense, but perhaps not. And I definitely jnana is going to be definitely next to understand that a lot better. But yes, we do a little bit of everything. I don't know if I guess I am technically doing karma. I go every day. I go out every day and I talk to people. Well, in my work, talk to people. I challenge their ideas, and I guess the reason why I challenge their ideas is to make sure that they genuinely believe in what they do. One person believes in energies and rocks, and I challenge their ideas because I don't believe in that stuff. But I want them either to genuinely believe in it or to not believe it at all. There's no in between. So I challenge their ideas, and if by challenge their ideas they become even more of a believer, but they become more of a believer because they understand it so deeply, that's fine. But if they like, oh, I don't know about this one, I don't know about that one, I don't know about this one, and they're believing it but they don't know why they believe it, then I challenge the ideas until I either break their idea, their belief, or I reinforce it. Again, whether it's like, okay, now I know why I believe this, why I believe this, why I believe this. This is my reason, my reason, my reason. It's like, okay, as long as you believe that and it makes logical sense to you, that's fine. But if it doesn't make logical sense to you, then stop following it. And then again, that's just what I do. Plus, also, it's a way of learning about their beliefs and stuff. I question it. It's for me to learn and for them to answer, hopefully. But yeah, I do karma by, you know, doing things for people, little things, holding door open. It's little karma. Being devoted to my job and to my house and to my car and to my whatever else. You know, that's devotion in small senses. And then jnana by watching these videos, by talking to people as well, by questioning their beliefs, understanding their beliefs, and all of that. Now raja, now that one, meditation, I do believe a lot of people think of meditation as a way of kind of calming the mind and relaxing. While not completely true, again, raja is the one that most of the gurus and swami that I watch, they don't really touch on it too much. It's kind of weird, I guess, because it's something that maybe can't really be talked about too well, but it's more of a practice type thing where you have to do in order to understand, as opposed to it being able to be explained. And perhaps that's the reason why I don't see it very much, or maybe I just happen to not run across it. Anyways, that's my reaction to the concept of Bhakti. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next vid.